Turns out Secret Service agents were told, save your text messages. Bosses told them that before the agency erased data and replaced their old cell phones. Apparently they didn't listen. We don't know. All of that according to new reporting from NBC News. A senior Secret Service official tells us that the agency sent out not one, but two emails, at least one of them before January the 6th. They instructed agents to preserve records on their cell phones before their devices were restored to factory settings and the text would be lost. The emails included reminders that the federal employees have the responsibility to preserve their records and included instructions on exactly how to do it. According to the official, the January 6th committee says the Secret Service was only able to turn over one single text message thread, just one, after it requested agents' text messages from the day of the insurrection and the day before the insurrection. The lost text messages could have been crucial evidence and provided real-time communication of Secret Service agents who were with the president at the time, on and before January 6th. The committee now says the Secret Service may have broken federal law when it started deleting the data just 3 weeks after the Capitol riot. This all comes on the eve of the committee's primetime hearing. NBC News senior national political reporter Sahil Kapoor now. You know, with new reporting on what we can expect tomorrow. Sahil, what's tomorrow look like?
Well, Shep, the hearing tomorrow will be all about the 187 minutes of inaction by then President Trump on the day of January 6th. From the time the Capitol was breached to the time he publicly asked the rioters to go home. Now, we know there are going to be two witnesses that are going to give testimony. That is Sarah Matthews, who was a member of the press team at the time, and Matthew Pottinger, who was on a national security aide. And they're going to help construct the minute by minute, the pressure that the White House was getting, much of it through then Chief of Staff Mark Meadows to have then President Trump give a statement to call the rioters off. Committee members have described this as a dereliction of duty on the part of the president that makes him complicit, in a sense, in the events of January 6th. Now, the hearing is meant for the American public. They want to they want to give a clear vision of what exactly happened on January 6th and everything that led up to it. But another audience is going to be the Justice Department. Committee members want the DOJ to get a little more aggressive in criminal prosecutions of those involved in January 6th, including all the way up to then President Trump. Let's have a listen to what AG Merrick Garland had to say about that.
We have to hold accountable every person who is criminally responsible for trying to overturn a legitimate election, and we must do it in a way filled with integrity and professionalism.
In other words, Garland insists that politics will in no way be involved with any decision the DOJ makes regarding prosecutions. And of course, Shep, it's not clear that this will actually be the last hearing. It is simply the last one of this tranche.
Yeah, we just don't know that yet. But we do know that lawmakers reached a deal, Sahil, to make it harder for anybody to overturn a certified presidential election. What's in that?
That's right. A major breakthrough in the Senate, a bipartisan working group releasing legislation today that would overhaul the 1887 Electoral Count Act, make abundantly clear for anyone who has a doubt that the vice president's role is simply ministerial, that she or he does not have the ability to unilaterally reject electors. It would raise the threshold for forcing Congress to vote on objections from what it currently is, which is one member of the House, one member of the Senate, pretty easy to achieve, to 1/5 of the House and 1/5 of the Senate, which Trump did not have at the time. It further makes amendments to the Presidential Transition Act, gives both candidates resources in the event of a close and contested election, and it addresses the prospect of alternate or fake slates of electors that could theoretically be sent by a state to a losing candidate in an attempt to make sure only the winning candidate has their electors counted. And finally, Shep, it includes new protections to protect election workers and new penalties for those who intimidate and harass election workers. The negotiations were blessed by Chuck Schumer, the Democratic Majority Leader, and Mitch McConnell, the Republican Minority Leader, which is an indication that they might actually pass the Senate.
Wow. Sahil Kapoor, thanks very much.